Hello, welcome to episode 5 of the Treason Show Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Brailsford, and my co-host who joins me now is Katy Matthews. Hello, Katy.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, we're back. It's been a bit of a hiatus because we had a Treason Show 25-year anniversary edition at the Grand Hotel in Brighton, no less, which was a huge success and a lot of fun and a lot of stress. We might mention that later. But it was an amazing night celebrating 25 years of the Treason Show, which is an incredibly bad thing to be saying now, let alone doing the show then. And we had lots of guests from the past, lots of material to look through from 25 years worth of shows to put on. And it was quite a hard job to put it together in the end, but it was an amazing night, wasn't it, Katy?
It was very special and very emotional for me.
Totes emotional. Yes, a few technical hiccups aside, it was a huge show. It was basically the Brighton's best hotel, and as you would imagine, it's called the Grand. But we'll talk more of that in a moment, because I'd like to introduce our very special guest. We're very, very lucky and very happy to be joined by a gentleman from the United States of America. His name is Randy Gross. Hello, Randy.
Hello.
So, which part of the states are you from, Randy?
Pennsylvania.
Ah, yes, right. So, the battleground states.
That's right.
Yes. So, yes, we've got.
I guess we're kind of purple here. They say.
Yes, of course, the meld of the two. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we'll get into the politics in a minute on that, because I think it's fascinating to be talking to someone from the States about it, because there is a link here as well with Katy. Because Katy, you've got family in the States, haven't you?
Yes. No, my brother married an American and produced American children.
Wow.
He's been living out there for over 20 years now. So yes, and I got to see them over Halloween. Apologies. It's been interesting times. Some of the things they've been reporting on to me, especially as my sister-in-law worked within the sciences, and some of the things that you can't get funding for anymore and things like that. It's been quite interesting.
Interesting.
I had the reverse situation, Katy. My daughter married a Brit and moved to Oxted, so which she got to escape this political environment in our country right now.
So, are you quite happy about that idea?
I'm happy for her, but miss her, of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, but yeah, there is. I mean, you could say frying pans and fires, because the things over here aren't always that great either. But they are. I would imagine a lot calmer, less chaotic. Now, Randy. So let's talk about you. You also have been writing and creating topical satirical material yourself with an own group. Would you like to tell us about that?
Sure. We've been doing it not quite as long as you have, Mark. We started back in 2003.
Amateurs.
Back at that time, I was working for a conglomerate of radio stations in Pennsylvania as a creative director. And I had 3 coworkers who regularly would stop by my office joking about different things. In particular, my friend John loved to impersonate Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And gradually we kept on developing this material in our own minds. And my first thing I wrote was this like 20 to 30 minute mashup of It's a Wonderful Life and A Christmas Carol.
Oh,
very adult natured in comedy. And we thought, why don't we put this on the radio if possible, which the local rock station agreed to do it. Now, this is before the time of the big wardrobe malfunction of Janet Jackson and all the Howard Stern brouhaha with his censorship issues. So we were able to get it on the air, pre-record it with sound effects. But then when all this stuff started blowing up with the censorship, we thought, well, we can't continue to do this. Let's try to do it live somewhere, like an old-fashioned radio show with the actors reading from scripts and having live sound effects and stuff. And we did that at a brew pub in the local area, and it went over really well.
Oh, wow.
So from there, we started expanding it every year, more material. We primarily started doing long pieces in the beginning, but it's evolved over the years to more sketch comedy.
That sounds brilliant. Are we able to listen to it at all? Is it still around, or you kept it sort of as a live show? Did you maintain a recording of it?
We have a number of clips that people can listen to. I have a SoundCloud page that I can give information for.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely. Plug it away.
I don't have it handy though. I have to look.
Okay, well, we'll bug it on the podcast info when we wrap it up, if you like, because that
But
sounds fascinating.
but I'm sure if you Google the not ready for drive time players, which is what we're known as,
Ah, yes.
you could probably find it through
Let's say that
SoundCloud.
again. Sorry, the not for drive
Not
time
ready for
players.
drive time players as opposed to prime time players, don't start that live thing.
That's a
We
great
kept the
title.
whole radio type of image. So
Oh, that's fantastic. That sounds brilliant. Are you still doing shows coming up then? I think you mentioned earlier, maybe off air, that you were in a hiatus, but you're going to come back next year and do it again, or?
I hope to. Yeah, we started out this year planning to do our normal Halloween and Christmas shows, but gradually over the course of months, I think our troupe, like half of them were kind of worried about the political climate with
Mm,
political violence occurring in different places. Like we're trying to expand our audience. Who do we know we're getting in our audience and how they're going to react to our material? And I think the other half of the people in the troupe, we're just finding it hard to laugh at things right now.
yeah.
It's in our painful environment. And finally we thought, let's take a break.
That sounds wise, actually. I mean, Katie, that's something we've discussed in our writers' meetings, and so Randy, we have these writers' meetings occasionally in a pub, which usually descend into a drinkers' meeting. But this is
It's a
something of a
perfect place
topic.
to have it.
Yeah, it's a perfect place. Certainly, the best material is always after a couple of beers, unfortunately. But then it gets to a point when it's writers' meeting only, and it will probably never be shown or broadcast some of the material we come up with. But it's great fun. But yeah, I mean, you talk about the atmosphere at the moment, and Katie, I mean, we've got insights into this, and I'm sure you've got insight into it yourself. I mean, have you found that when you write for the show, do you kind of self-censor? I'm going to come back to the censorship thing in a minute with Randy, but do you self-censor, do you think?
Um, I think, yeah, I mean, the idea, I suppose, with our show is that obviously we are, we're more left-leaning as a show, but the idea is we try and take the mick out of everyone. So you never want to have too much of your own, I suppose, agenda within something. I feel like on a local level, you can be maybe a bit more impassioned about something and hammer home a point during our live shows. But if it's more sort of broader issues, because it's complex and people will be coming from different viewpoints about it, it's yeah, maybe there's a degree of censorship in there. But also obviously we have a script editor, we have, things come out in rehearsals that I think things end up getting slightly shaped differently during the rehearsal process anyway. But whether that's a degree of censorship or just what feels right for the time, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's interesting words, isn't it? Censorship. I mean, you mentioned it, Randy, in the sense that you had different people in your group some of whom were a bit worried about how it would go over, and some who were probably thinking, well, no, they should do it, because the atmosphere, you're right, is febrile at the best times, really, on both sides of the pond. And but this is the interesting thing about the foundation stone of the Treason Show generally. And I don't know if you've ever heard the saying. It's something, Katie, I'm sorry, you've heard several times. I probably say it as a mantra too often. But when someone asks me about our style and how do we interpret what we do, I always point out George Bernard Shaw and I'm paraphrasing his comment, but he had this wonderful phrase of: the best way to get an idea in someone's head is to shove it down their throats while their mouths are open laughing. So I've always had that in my way of directing the show, but increasingly it's been harder and harder and harder. Interesting, going back to what you said about Howard Stern and censorship generally, was there some sort of because obviously Howard Stern being quite controversial when I was in New York, I remember listening to him a lot, and he was obviously enjoying stirring it up. Did he have something happen that caused a censorship law to be enacted, or was it just an atmospheric thing that just people self-centered?
I don't think there was an actual law that was passed. It's just that the FCC really started a concerted crackdown on enforcing their regulations. So
Ah,
eventually he wasn't going to be able to get away with saying some of the things he was saying because the the company owners like iHeartRadio, which was
mm,
Clear Channel Radio at the time, I think, they started saying, "We're not going to air your show anymore,
ah,
Howard." So he started losing audience right and left. And that's why he ended up going to satellite radio eventually.
Oh, right. Well, I should just mention to anyone listening to our podcast, all three of them, so, to say that Howard Stern is, I suppose, in the New York parlance, a shock jock in the old-fashioned way. It basically a talk show host on radio, very famous. Used to get, I mean, every guest going was on and has been on recently as well, I guess. But he's been going a long time, actually, if I remember, Randy. I mean, 30 odd years that I know of.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Huge broadcaster. And so times have changed a lot since you started in 2003, we started 2000, and before that I was directing satire. But the interesting thing on the lighter side of this, it is also a line to play with. Now, locally, certainly in this country, one of the things we encountered very early was the reaction from a live audience whenever we did stuff about Princess Diana. So that used to become a moment, which shows you the innocence of the times. It was before 9/11 and before all the wars were kicked off, but but we were on, we're controversial because we did Princess Diana material. And then, of course, ever since then, the history as we know it has obviously darkened in a way. Do you think we'll ever get back to that, Katy? Do you ever think we'll return to those more innocent days of having a bit of fun at the Royals' expense, or is it going to be?
Well, I think it's
dark?
Well, I was going to say that it still gets a bit of a reaction from some of the audience if you do stuff.
Yes.
I think because I think whether that's because they're more in on the joke of it's fun to go
like
but it's I do wonder if we return to those times, but at the same time I always feel like how different am I only feeling that way because we all have this sort of sense of nostalgia and distance of seeing it wasn't as bad as it is now feeling. And I think the element of that being true, but an element also of us seeming that way because of distance, whereas there were other things we worried about at the time that we just forgotten about because they stopped being an issue. So it's hard to say. I'm not convinced it's not just in part at least a perspective thing.
Yes, Randy, when you do your performances or have done your performances, I like I've got this lovely picture of you doing it like a radio show with your script around microphones. Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
That sounds great fun.
And it's worked out really well for us because not everybody in the troupe has a lot of time to have a lot of rehearsals and memorize lines. So by doing it the way we were doing it, I mean, we could meet once a month basically over the course of the year to hash out ideas and rehearse, and we'd be ready for our shows.
Maybe we should take that up because you've seen the show, Randy. You see how much goes into trying. I mean, we've got to remember a lot. So I'm very jealous of your approach. I think it's got a lot of merit for us to think about.
I think I might have a couple people in the troupe who would drop out if I decided to go the kind of route that you're going. So,
wow. I mean, because obviously, mentioned earlier, you did come over to see the show. You came over to the UK. If I recall, it was your first visit to the United Kingdom. Was that right?
Yes, definitely. Well, actually, it was my first time out of the country, period.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, except when I was a little kid, when my parents went to Niagara Falls and actually went to the Canadian side of the falls. So I guess technically I was out of the country back then. But
well, this is, I don't know if it's an urban myth, but it's the thing of American people who don't have passports. Apparently, it's something like only 10% of the United States population has a passport. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm guessing, but I knew it was something, or somebody said it was quite small. I was quite surprised. But then somebody said to me once, "Well, you've got to remember, there's something like 380 Americans, so not all of them are going to want to go away." And I thought that was fascinating because I spent some time in New York, and I nearly married a New York lady. It was wonderful, and Yeah, I had
I
lots
think
of
maybe it's increasing with people having passports in America, or people want to move to other countries right now. So
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, it's clearly happening a lot. I mean, famously, Ellen DeGeneres has moved over to England because
yeah,
she obviously shows no more, and I think basically, as soon as Trump got in, she was
yeah,
on the plane,
yeah.
so that she came over and
Then
moved
Rosie
to.
O'Donnell, I think Rosie O'Donnell moved out of the country
Yes,
too.
she did. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Famous, obviously, talk show. It's mainly talk show and comedian, I guess. Rosie
yeah,
O'Donnell.
yeah.
And I don't know if she's still doing shows. I don't think she is anymore.
I don't think
Um,
so.
no, we've got a bit of an American diaspora going on over here. But
And I think I mentioned to you when I was over there, Mark, that if you could help me figure out a way for my wife and I to move over to the UK.
Randy, if we could help you, I would. I would absolutely. We might have to take you in as refugees or something.
Could you?
Mention it.
I can
But
claim asylum.
we could try, but our government is now becoming very Trumpian and very anti-immigration and it's been really awful actually. And the Labour Party here are meant to be like the Democrats where you are, although they're not really a very Labour Party, as we would call them, more liberal. They seem to be increasingly authoritarian and right wing and pandering to a far right party called Reform over here. And Nigel Farage, I don't know, is Nigel Farage known on your radar over there?
I know about him mainly because through my son-in-law. He keeps me abreast of different things taking place over there right now. So
Oh right. Oh, did he support him or
no, no, he and his family are all of them are against Farage.
good,
So
good. They sound like good people. Well done. Your daughter's married well.
but yeah,
Um,
the whole Trump authoritarian thing seems like some kind of virus that's spreading around the world right now.
it really does. Do you think it's deliberate, Katie? What do you think?
I think
Planned and all?
I think because of the way that media and algorithms and things work, I think the real divisiveness, the whole polar opposites thing
Hmm.
has been expanded upon. And because people, so if you decide you have a particular leaning, the algorithm says, oh, you like this, I will only feed you
Hmm.
this stuff.
Yes.
So regardless of which way you are politically, I think it reinforces it if you use a lot of, say, online or only buy certain types of publications or things like that. I
Hmm.
think it is just reinforced to the degree that it makes you feel more impassioned about these issues that perhaps aren't as big a issues as you realize, but the algorithm says you're interested, so
Yeah.
I'm going to just show you this.
Yeah.
So in your mind, it must be a bigger deal than it really is because
Yeah.
that's all
So
you're seeing.
so perhaps distorts somewhat what we perceive to be
Yeah.
the
And I say, I
prevailing
think I get that too, being more sort of, liberal leaning. I get then sent a lot of these things or to feel outraged about.
Mm.
And and then I think it really makes, these like everyone's against each other. Whereas it used to be like some people are more in the middle, some people, yeah, or there's, used to look on certain parties of being like, I think there's a very loaded term now to say I'm a member of a particular party.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if someone said like, oh, I'm a Conservative or I'm a Labour Party member, people had an idea of like, oh, okay, you're slightly more right leaning. This could be a whole spectrum of things. You could be, really at one fair end of either end, or just slightly more, and you're kind of a centrist, really, but with this leaning.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think it feels so much more loaded to say that someone thinks you're either some, liberal woke, what secret communist type thing, or you're, fascist, racist, all that, rather than actually most people are somewhere in the middle. And it's usually they voted that way historically, probably for more financial reasons or policy reasons that they thought make sense at the time.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
But it's now become just so much more about almost morally who you are,
Mm.
whereas it rather than politically and morally shouldn't have that such a it shouldn't be so side by side like that. They should be different, sort of separate issues,
Yeah,
really.
that's a good point. That's a really good point. So the absolutism that's gone around us now is actually
Yeah.
quite worrying, isn't
It's gotten to the point where you don't even feel comfortable here putting up campaign signs for your candidate in your front yard because of what might happen. I mean,
Wow.
you a few years back, we actually had somebody throw a rock through our window
Oh,
because of a campaign sign we had up.
were you supporting Harris in the election? Is one of the placards for that election, or was it Biden?
No, this is back John Kerry was running.
Uh-huh.
So that's even back a little bit before the current very divisive atmosphere in the
Wow.
country.
So no wonder you don't put a yard sign up. I mean,
Yeah.
so was that a governor election at the time? Was
That's presidential.
the presidential? So
Yeah.
I missed the name. I didn't hear what you said.
John Kerry.
Oh, John Kerry, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes, of course. That was. I mean, you know, ostensibly a very reasonable centrist Democrat, wasn't he? I
Yeah.
mean, now he's probably seen as a a communist insurgent liberal nutcase, isn't he? To put most of MAGA.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It shifted.
The word centrist and moderate seem to have been disappearing over the course of time.
Yeah, and that's something that both America and over here, I think, has in common.
Yeah.
I mean, famously, obviously, I think it was Winston Churchill described our two countries as two countries divided by the same language, which has always amused me. But in fact, there are so many similarities, and in fact, I think we're catching Magaritis ourselves over here now. It seems, and that atmosphere must be. It is hard for everybody it was reasonable, who cares about people, and the absolute.
I think it doesn't help that a lot of the time a lot of the sort of news outlets I see aren't really asking the right questions. They're asking the same questions over and over again for like sound bites rather than actually saying, getting in an expert of the background in whatever issue they're discussing and saying, okay, well, how does this actually work? And why are people so outraged about this or this? And then, and also what is covered at a local, government level and what is national, like just to even work out who's actually responsible for what. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of like the local council things, people vote in people to say, oh, things are going to change now around here. They're actually quite limited in what they can do without national funding. So it sort of almost doesn't matter who you've got in. If the money isn't there, it's not going to make much difference because whoever gets in realizes, oh, there's not a lot I can do. I can tweak the bin day, but I can't really say what happens on,
would round here. So like that. Changing the subject back to Randy, you said you were creative director of a radio station. Is that right?
Yeah, several different radio stations over the years. That's where I really sharpened my teeth as a writer early in my career. I still love that format of churning out, short radio commercials. I had a lot of fun with that over the years.
Oh yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, that must be great fun. I mean, and I'm guessing you've had a long career doing that. Not saying you're older or anything, but I got the impression that you were quite.
Well, I am
experienced. But how do you think that the kind of media landscape has changed as well, in the sense that if you do a radio show, certainly in the States, is it something you can easily reach an audience, or is it harder, or people sort of being more selective?
I think it's a little bit harder than what it used to be in radio. I mean, there's so many things out there that people can partake of on streaming nowadays.
Those people doing podcasts, how dare they?
It's all your fault.
Damn, our three listeners are ruining the media landscape.
Yes.
But, I mean, we're guilty of it, aren't we? Because here I am doing this. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's obviously a different cultural environment here. But we've noticed that here. And going back to what you were saying, Katy, that chasing of engagement that goes on now. You mentioned sound bites, and the chasing engagement.
Short form is what people are after, I suppose, with
bite-sizing
TikTok and that kind of thing. I suppose it's generally lots of short-term thinking. I think
yes, it really
go in there, which has always been, I suppose, the case with any party that knows it only might be in for a certain amount of time.
With any luck,
but they don't want to then think long term. Or they do think when they do, that another party comes in and then scraps that idea, even if it was a good one, because it was their idea. Yeah. So it just feels like how do you progress in that way?
Right, I'm going to mention a different subject now. I'm going to change it because I want to see if Randy's aware of this one as well, because it's only just recently broken news over here, so I'm assuming it's only new over there as well. But you might be familiar with a lady called Liz Truss. who was a prime minister in this country for 43 days, who famously didn't last longer than a lettuce. A lettuce lasted longer than her. She crashed her economy, and anyway, she's now doing a new radio stroke video YouTube type of show. She made a comeback, and she's now on media in the States and here, and I think it's a joint company effort. And there's this wonderful trailer that they played. I only saw this last night, where she sits there and says, "I'm back. I was deposed by the deep state." But basically, she's Trump in a dress, really. And I don't know. Have you?
That's a scary image.
I know, it's a terrible. God, it's awful. It's bad enough on its own. But have you come across the name Liz Truss? Is there an awareness of her in the States?
Again, only because of my son-in-law and his family over in the UK. That's the only way I heard about her.
What was the first?
The rest
impression?
of the Americans haven't. They're so lucky.
You are. I'm so jealous. If only we'd never heard of her. Oh,
I don't think we feel very lucky right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was relative term. It's all relative. Everything's relative. But yeah, Liz Truss.
She was great for the show, wasn't she?
Yeah. Oh, she was.
That's one thing I'll say about the whole Donald Trump thing. At least it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes,
for humor right now. So
that's true. And when he got in again, which we were all shocked at and depressed about for a while, I mean, I felt for a lot of my American friends and over there, and I thought, oh God, this all. I mean, but then the rest of the world came to mind. It was like, oh God, we're all screwed here. But then a lot of friends would text me saying the only two people in the world I know who are happy about Trump winning is a barman who just found out he had a Bitcoin he didn't know about, and you, Brailsford, doing Trump impressions. So I went, yeah, well, what's bad for the world isn't always good for the show, and vice versa. So basically, Randy, we're talking about now the new Christmas shows coming up, and we've got the Treason Show in Brighton on the 29th and 30th of December at Ironwork Studios. We've got New Year's Eve at Rope Tackle, which is nearly sold out, so get buying your tickets. And we've got our first show just before Christmas on the 23rd of December at the Con Club in Lewes. So get your tickets at our website, treasonshow.co.uk. So yeah, we're gearing up for that. And then Christmassy themed material is where we're heading now. Have you got any favourites you've created yourself, Randy, on the Christmas front?
I was going to say, as our American correspondent, is there anything you're particularly working on, ready for?
I think we can officially call Randy our official correspondent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've actually sent you a couple ideas already. One of my favorites that I sent you a copy of recently is something called Fruitcake Jakes.
Yeah.
It's like two Italian dons who have a fruitcake recycling warehouse business. Because I don't know how Brits feel about fruitcakes in particular, but
well, they have two meanings. Put it that way. I've got it here. I'll just pull up the script actually.
Yeah, over here they don't have a very sterling reputation as something, a delicacy that people want to enjoy during the holidays. It's something that we feel like gets shipped around from one person to another every year. So that's one of my favorite skits that we did. And I thought I would share it with you to see if you'd like to do something.
Yeah. Is it that they're a disgrace? Oops, are they like a disgrace to their family because it's also not panettone? It's they've gone down the Christmas cake route and it's not panettone if they're Italian.
I don't know if I'd say they're a disgrace, but maybe a little bit of outcast.
Oh, it's a very funny sketch. It's very generic for our style, but one of the things, if we ever did a generic sketch show, I think this would fit it, or if it was just a Christmas thing without being news based, because it's great. It's a great sketch, Randy. I loved it, and two great characters, and the fact that they're sort of dons is quite funny, and I can hear it being done in my head, which is always a good sign when someone writes something and you can hear it. Yeah, we've got a
great
little
if we got us another sort of food shortage on something that you particularly found in fruitcake. There was the topical element or something. We could bring it in and it'll be the perfect.
We'll find a way, find an excuse.
I'm working on some more song parody. I already sent you a couple, but I'm working on some more Christmas song parodies for you too.
Woohoo! Great stuff. Thanks, Randy. I'm looking forward to reading those. So, well, let's we're going to look back on a second for a minute on our Treason Show 25 show, which we just did. Sorry, Randy, you weren't able to be there. At the Grand Hotel, where we were doing the show in front of 250 people. We packed this wonderful ballroom at the wonderful posh Grand Hotel. And actually, Randy, I don't know if you know this. You know probably that Margaret Thatcher was our Prime Minister. Were you ever aware that there was a bomb in a hotel that nearly killed her?
I heard that before. Yeah.
Well, we did the show in that hotel.
Really?
It was that hotel. It's down the road here in Brighton.
Did you do some Margaret Thatcher humor?
We did.
How dare you?
I know, it's outrageous. I mean, we didn't do it directly because we thought, no, we've got to be careful here, But we did something about the funeral idea, and we had this whole sort of cast standing there while I voice over a very serious tone of there goes the funeral carriage, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, which did with the traditional stake and hammer. Well, you can't be too careful, can you? All these kind of oblique references. The fly past of the red arrows as they drop the 10,000 tons of cement. Great. So, yeah, we kind of went there without being obliquely about the. But interestingly, and this is another fascinating thing that hopefully our listener might enjoy, we had someone I write with a lot called Paul Hodson in the audience. And he did a play not long ago about the IRA bombing, and he met the guy who planted the bomb and was the IRA bomber who nearly killed him. And actually did get, unfortunately, two people did die in it. It was rather sad. Whatever the political beliefs, I never believe in killing people, but yeah, it was yeah. And he was saying to me after the show, he said, "Oh yeah, I met him." I went, oh my God, so this guy went into who basically bombed the British government. It was a terrorist attack. And Paul was writing a play about it. So he had a particular frisson when we did that sketch about Thatcher.
That's enough to give you chills meeting somebody like that.
It really was. It was very close to the bone. And but that's the part of the fun of the show, that we do satire and it's fun.
Yeah.
We had daft stuff. We had jokes about all sorts and royal family and Prince Charles and I even did the stand-up Queen again, which Katy you wrote. I've got to say, for anyone who watched the show, the writing of that was the wonderful Katy Matthews. Hurrah, well done. So we brought back the Queen just for one night only at the Grand Hotel in Brighton, and I played as a sanitation subjects with wings. I had wings on and worked. It was a lot of fun. So
are you gonna video of the 25th anniversary?
We do have a kind of shaky record of it. It's not the best produced video, but yes, Randy, there will be a record of that that people can see, and we'll announce that when we get it uploaded, because we've got to find a way to stabilize the video, because I think the poor person who was videoing it, they didn't have a tripod at the right height, so it was handheld camera. I'm still looking into how Final Cut Pro can do the Steadicam work and not lose all the picture. So I'm working on an edit that as literally yesterday. So hopefully before Christmas, everyone will be able to see a version of that on video. So you'll be able to see it, and it'd be great fun. Hopefully, see what you think. So yeah, what's next for you then, Randy? Are you apart from obviously brilliantly writing for us, what else do you do?
I'm a playwright and a screenwriter. I've had primarily successes with plays at this point. So, but right now I'm trying to promote myself more and more as a screenwriter for some movie scripts and TV pilot scripts I'm have out there, including I know maybe it sounds odd, but including I have a Hallmark type Christmas script out there that is currently being shopped by a producer to try to get investors interested. So,
great! Yeah, the Hallmark Channel does the Christmas films are what they're known for, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they have a huge audience for those films.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not my ideal format, and theme that I want to write in. I have other stuff I'm pursuing too, with comedy and so forth. But
right, good.
If I can get a foot in the door that way, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, gig's a gig, right?
Yeah.
Oh, do please let us know if we'll
we'll watch it.
Mark, I took notice you have an IMDb page and have acted in some films already, including when we were over in the, I think we were in the UK when we were watching it. There was a film they did in Brighton that you had an appearance in. We got to watch that. Are you still doing any film acting at all?
Well, after that one, actually, I was in Diane Keaton's last film.
Oh, you were?
Sadly, she obviously passed away recently. It might have been her second to last film, but I thought, she did a film called Arthur's Whiskey. She was starring in that. It was made by Sky Original and Paramount over here. And it had some other actors in that you might know of. David Harewood, who was in Homeland, you might remember. And Patricia Hodge, Sarah Miles was in it, I think. Big load of names. And I had a little scene. And my scene was with Lulu, the well-known pop star. I don't know if Lulu's known in the States. So I was in that. And Diane Keaton, sadly, she passed away. And the director of that film was also the director of Brighton, and he's trying to get another film made. And I saw him the other week, actually. So I'm hopeful that if he ever manages to get it off the ground, because at the moment, production is really stalling over there and over here as well. So, everything's very slow, as I'm sure you'll know more than most, because if you're writing and pitching scripts, it's tough at the moment, I think, in our industry.
Hasn't there been these extra sort of levies and charges?
And Trump's talking about 100% tariffs on films. So who knows? I mean,
and I wonder how they just announced that Netflix is buying Warner Brothers and HBO.
Is there a bit of talk about it being split off into the streaming service and then the other production studios, and that pretty much dismantles the whole project, I guess, over there?
Yeah, that's what they're saying right now. It's going to be some kind of split.
But that kind of makes their buying power go down. I guess that means less productions and fewer productions, I should say, and a tougher environment for all.
Yeah, and as we said, it was already a tough environment anyway. Now this on top of that.
As we were saying just off air, that whole idea of at the moment, your job recently and the changes there, and we were talking about the economy here, Katy, just as you rejoin us. The situation here is also quite tight, and that's actually something I think that the whole world is in a bit of a pickle over, because of this whole first of all, the war in Ukraine, which is nowhere nearer to being solved, because Trump seems to think it's Ukraine's fault, which is bizarre because Russia invaded them, and that war's knocked on the energy costs. The energy costs have led to all the other issues economically as well. COVID, of course, has affected us all. And governments seem incapable of responding, and it's a depressing time. So we're going to cheer everyone up with a comedy show. That's the plan. So we have a nice job. I like to think we've got a nice job, entertaining people, and hopefully bringing some Christmas cheer into people's lives. Especially with the show. And also, I'm going to quickly plug something, you don't mind, for a moment, because we've got a Christmas single out. Because we have a band called the Paradise Lost Band, which is a spin-off from the Treason Show, where we've now created a 6-piece rock band with 2 singers. We've got a guest singer, Rebecca Blanchard's joining us, and we're doing a gig at the famous Prince Albert pub in Brighton, which is I don't know if you've got much chance to see other parts of Brighton when you were here, Andy, but this pub is amazing, and it's got an original Banksy photograph of the kissing police officers on it, which is a
cool.
rare special thing. The original's on the wall, it's a beautiful thing. So we're playing that pub with Paradise Lost, and hopefully doing more gigs next year as well. And so now we've got a Christmas single out. You can get it from all your favorite download sites. Other download sites are available other than Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all the others that you'd like to use. And it's called Oh Christ, It's Christmas, which is a satirical original song, because that's what we can do now, publish. So if you look out for the Paradise Lost Band, any listeners out there, and we've got to basically split some of the profits are going to go to charity. We're supporting the Samaritans this year, which is as a Samaritans is so Randy, you know what that is? It's a suicide prevention hotline, and basically they help people who are in dark times and hopefully save lives. They save a lot of lives, and so we're going to give a nice, hopefully a slice of the profits to them if we make any. I just saw the Spotify earnings, 3 cents. Oh great, publishing's not like it was in the music terms when you were running a radio station.
No.
They just don't know it's out there yet. They just don't know it's out there yet.
It's only just started. We only just released it.
We're just gonna.
Yeah.
But
So
who doesn't love a good song parody? I mean,
exactly,
yeah,
and it's
and
all
a good cause.
yeah.
So
And that's the fun part about Christmas songs. You must have found this, and we've done it over the years, Katie. You take everybody knows the Christmas songs, and everyone knows. You know, as soon as you start going to these original tunes that everyone knows, and you can parody the lyrics easily. You've got they're nice coupleted gags that often you can parody, and they're a lot of fun because everyone knows the hooks, and everybody gets straight away where you're going. And I kind of secretly love Christmas because of all this. I'm not one of those people who hears Mariah Carey, however you pronounce it, singing her Christmas song and going, "Oh God, no, not again." I love it. I think, yeah, it's Christmas. Come on, bring it on. Christmas parody
What I
time.
love is that I end up singing all like our own alternative lyrics to everything. This is the problem. It's like
Yeah,
everyone hears, Mariah Carey's, All I Want for Christmas Is You. In my head, she's going, All I Want for Christmas is EU.
yeah.
Because we
Me
had
too.
that one out when Brexit happened, when they voted out,
One of our greatest hits, I'd say. I
I
think that was
think,
one
yeah,
of
I mean, when we had Sophia Ben, who just has this incredible, West End quality voice,
Oh yeah,
singing that on the year that, where we just voted on Brexit.
absolutely.
It
Yeah,
was just, it was just chef's kiss moment.
it was. But yeah, that show, hopefully, Randy, you'll be able to see online when we get it videoed. Hopefully, we'll be videoing that one. And
yeah,
just mention that again, because Katie mentioned it. It was just brilliant. So thank you for mentioning it. The cast for Christmas is Sophia Ben is back, and she's in the Christmas show.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
we've got Soph back, and we're bringing back Pethers is back. James Petherick, who's done shows in the past, was going to do the Treason 25 show and then got laryngitis. So it was very, very upset to be having to pull out. So we've given him the Christmas show. So we're going to be
Hi,
working.
Peppers. Yeah.
And one newcomer called Kitty McNeil, who was in the October show, who was lovely and a lot of fun. And so we've got a great mixture of cast and Sam Herbert, who created the thing, mucking about and doing stuff as well. But so we're having fun. We're going to have a
well,
lot.
You mentioned Mariah Carey. I sent you my own version of
Yes.
her song, which is all I got for Christmas is the flu.
Yeah. That's actually under consideration. Actually, Randy,
cool.
you'll be pleased to know that is in my long list pile. I've got on this desktop, which I know you can't see. So in my Treason Show Christmas 25 file. This is I don't know how you used to run yours, but we run on a system. This might be of interest to people listening to podcasts. I hope is I run it very similar to what BBC Radio used to do when I started writing satire for a show called Weekending on Radio 4. I was just a non-commissioned writer. I was very bad when I started. I was really, really bad. Some would say I am now, but then I was. And they had a system of running scripts. So you'd have running script 1, which was your long list. Running script 2, which is basically honed down into what you think will be most of the episode, and then running script 3 was the show edit of the number of scripts and time and all that, so that actually fit with the running time, with a minute or two edit room, so you can cut to the exact time. So running script 1 is the beginning, running script 3 tends to be the end. And sometimes when a busy month happens, like the news develops, we'll do a running script 4 because, oh my God, we've got to rewrite the show again. So that's what happens there. Yes, and I've got a song long list pile, and that is in the consideration pile. So I'll let you know if we use it. It's great fun. But yeah, so it's Katie. Anything you've got? Want to mention anything like your podcast?
Well, we do have a little podcast too, because everyone does. So
Randy, have you got
I'm sure you've got one somewhere that you need to plug afterwards as well. So I have one called, oh sorry, my cat is now prodding my face for attention. Yes,
well, it's a good idea for a podcast. You ever thought of calling a podcast that? That's quite fun.
It might help. My cat is prodding my face.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of listeners.
Actually, probably more than I do on my current one. So my current one is called Weird Meditation, and it's funny versions of sort of visualizations to help you sleep or relax. It involves a lot of Treason regulars perform them. So it's a lot of people with good performer voices, soothing tones, and who know how to deliver a line.
Yes, we all like to have a soothing.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh, please do. It's,
I think it's good stuff, Randy. It's good stuff.
I seem to have more American listeners than I do British listeners randomly, actually. So the disloyal bastards. So, Randy, you can up the quota even more. Yeah.
My wife's in the meditation, so she might enjoy listening to the weird meditation.
I was to say yes, they're very sort of they're sort of silly, but I have been told they are still feel oddly relaxing as well as
I can
amusing,
certainly
hopefully.
vouch for them. I've done one of them, and they're lovely, beautifully written. That'd be fun. So Randy, what are your plans for what you call the holidays? Are you going somewhere? Are you going to stay at home?
Going to stay home. We just went away for the week of Thanksgiving, so we're going to stay home for Christmas,
Lovely.
and hopefully plan a trip back over to the UK sometime the next year or so. So
Well, it would be lovely to see you when you're over.
that would be good. Great to
Don't
see
be a
you
stranger.
too.
Come and see us, and
Maybe we can do
hopefully
dinner next time or something.
Yeah, let's hopefully find some time because
Yeah.
around the show it's insane, as you probably noticed afterwards.
Yeah.
But I tend to collapse for a day or two afterwards and then have a life again. I have no life in 2 weeks leading up to a show because there's so much to do. But yeah, I hope when you come over next time and you've got a bit more time as well, and hopefully we'll find some time, and Katy hopefully will join us as well. And
Yeah. I hope so.
We'd love to see you. And if there's ever a way I could introduce you to people over here, of course I would. I've no idea. It's so hard over here for everybody. I wanted to come over there. We'll swap.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I keep thinking about the only way we're going to have a chance to move over is if we hit the lottery or something. So
Same here. Yeah, it's a struggle at the moment, that's for sure. But yeah, hopefully we'll all still. Well, we have a saying in the Treason Show, don't we, Katy? What's our saying? The company motto?
We're still here.
Yeah. And for a while it was ironic, but it's real now.
It's really
Really real. There we go.
It becomes more and more loaded the more
exactly. So
I keep thinking of the old line that you got to keep laughing so you don't cry.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And sometimes when you see our show, you do both.
As you've just recently obviously had Thanksgiving, Randy, did you find much to be thankful for? Or
I tried.
There is actually just a side before we sign off. There is a thing you might have just caught wind of. It's only just happened. Prince Harry appeared on the Stephen Colbert show. And I don't know if you've seen it, Randy, but if you get a chance and any listeners have a go, have a look at it. It's very, very funny. And Prince Harry
intentionally funny, or
he's actually really intentionally funny. He pretends to be trying to get in to do a Christmas film, going back to your Hallmark story, Randy. And he's come to audition. He said, "Look, I'll audition. I'll self-tape. I'll fly anywhere. I'd like to, come and be in a Christmas film." And Stephen Colbert's saying, "Well, no, you're not really an actor." And oh yeah, but you just, you've got films coming out for years over here. It's fantastic. I can move into this career, and but we don't have royalty over here. He said, "Well, you elected a new king recently. I mean, if he can be a king, I can be an actor." So it's all very funny. If you get a chance, have a look at it. It's very funny.
Okay.
And full circle, you mentioned Wonderful Life, which is one of the most wonderful films. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Saturday Night Live did a very funny parody of what happened after the moment when George Bailey's got the.
I remember that.
You remember that? It was classic. So if you're looking for a bit of a laugh, I think it's Dana Carvey playing Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
And his impression is so on point. And you mentioned the guy playing Potter's. You got someone who does the voice. And it's such a distinctive character, isn't it? It's a very funny clip. If you get a chance, just have a search through social media that you use, and you'll find the Saturday Night Live clip of "It's a Wonderful Life" parody.
Yeah, I also like the parody of A Christmas Carol a couple of years ago. Did you see that one with Martin Short?
No, I didn't see that
Steve
one.
Martin, where Martin Short is Scrooge on the morning of Christmas, where he's shouting down to the little kid in the street, "What day is today?" And he tosses coins down to people, and one by one, the coins are like embedding themselves in people's eyes and heads and stuff, and they have all this blood gushing.
Well, there's another clip for our listeners to check up. So we've got lots of little holiday season and Christmas season humor to catch up on through listening to.
We've done a fair few I think Christmas Carol parodies, haven't we, over the years? We've done Putin. I think probably most recently, but was it A Kremlin Carol?
A Kremlin Carol, yeah. We did
that. I know. I was trying to think who else has. There's definitely been a couple more, but I mean, it's just so ripe for it, isn't it? I think it's perfect for this time of year, especially, and to get any points across of anyone in power who is perhaps not using it as well as they should. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, it's a timeless and wonderful story that also has universal themes that we can really relate to now. Obviously, Dickens was a massive supporter of of reform in society and helping the poor, and his father was in debtor's prison, so he suffered poverty as well, and he was a big champion of the poor, and that morality tale of Christmas Carol is timeless. I always read it actually every year. So here we've been talking about daft stuff, but if you, give yourselves a treat, everybody listening, and reread A Christmas Carol this Christmas, because it's a beautiful thing, and it's not very long, and it just warms the cockles of the heart.
Yeah, I never get tired of reading.
Or watch the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is the best
Christmas Carol. Yeah. But they also say very cleverly. I like it when Gonzo goes, "Yeah, but if you want to know why, you got to read the book." I think that's all really good. So on that note, I think we'll sign off our podcast for today. And thank you everybody for listening, all three of you, and Mum and Randy. I hope there are more. There are more. I know there are. But Randy, thank you so much for joining us from across the pond over there.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, hopefully, maybe we'll do another one another time.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you on.
It'd
be great. Talk about it. And Katy, thank you. And hopefully we'll be obviously seeing you soon as we're going to have a writers meeting on Tuesday, and we start the process of the Christmas show. So don't forget to get booking for the Treason Christmas special. That was the year that was, which is on the 23rd of December at the Con Club Lewis, and the 29th and 30th at the Ironworks Studios in Brighton, and New Year's Eve at Rope Tackle, which is nearly sold out. So get buying your tickets if you want to see the show. And we've got a cracker, no pun intended. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Katy. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.